this video, I'm gonna be talking about my Navajo family members and about the Navajo way that I come from. Because every Navajo and every Indian or Indian that lives on the Hopi reservation or any Navajo or any Patriarch, even Hopi's different clans and different groups and different clans and different bands and things like that. You know what I mean when I go on that drum, when I say bands and clans and groups and families and people that have different beliefs, because they all don't agree the same. They actually all have different opinions or different things, because some people don't they might not know, or they might not know some things might not be important. So what I'm saying is like my grandmother, she was Navajo, but what she taught me is she taught me I didn't know I came from a bear clan at the time when I was a kid, when I was 4. She taught me a lot of bear stuff. Like we learned for example, we used to always, our family we used to always be together. We all lived in two big houses on the same land, but we all lived close to each other, like in a Hogan, like in a Hogan. So what I'm trying to say is we always gave each other bear hugs, squeeze each other, and that's what our grandmother always did for us, and even for her kids too. Like squeeze the life out of us, a bear hug. And we even knew about Indian burns, like the way you whoop a child when you grab their arm, and that's how Indians whoop the kids. Even though they might just don't, but they squeeze their arms. And I'm trying to think what else kind of bear thing she showed us, because just like that, I'm from yeah, the Navajo bear clan, but I know it's a lot of other bear clans around. North America, Central America, Alaska, Eskimo, and all of that. So yeah, she actually taught us a lot of bear stuff, a lot of bear stories that were true, like about my grandma being in a boarding school, and kids bringing in animals that they weren't supposed to have, like a dog that can even be just like a bear, like how they, I mean, maybe had to hide the animal and take care of it and things like that. But just a lot of bear things. Like I'm trying to think, because it was something I know it just wasn't no bear hug, and yeah, like yeah, just bear things. But I'm not even gonna worry about the bear part. But just like that, even with my grandma was a real Navajo, and her mom was a real Navajo too. Her mom spoke the language, but she also spoke English. And her mom lived on the reservation. Her mom was a medicine lady, and I don't even think her mom knew English. And even though her mom didn't know English, my grandma didn't. My great grandma didn't say they taught they passed it down to my grandma. My grandma passed it down to me. Don't never say you did that, because even that that's probably that can be that's even that's referred to as a gang, and that's probably somebody that's probably a desert Indian too. That's a desert Indian, and at the same time, even though I know it means the people and all of that, but like Navajo, that sound like an Eskimo or Alaskan word, or even an Innu word. When you really look at it, or even look at it, it's like, yeah, like Navajo. But she told me, don't ever say you're Dene or dying, like none of that. You know, like that's a gang, and they only tell their people to claim if they speak their language, and even growing up off of a reservation, a lot of I noticed that like Navajos, yeah, Navajos is selfish, because other tribes don't do that. A real Indian don't, or just, even though they say focus on like you're just Navajo, but Indians don't be like, oh, just practice Navajo ways, because it's just not in no Navajo ways. That's just like I can tell you, people that say they're Diné or say they're Navajo, all they do is believe in turquoise. And my grandma, yeah, she told me about Pelody too, about how that's just for people that's been traumatized. But just like that, and my grandma, even her, like a lot of her brothers and sisters, some of them full blooded. Yeah, they don't mess with the reservation, or even Indians that Navajos that go off the reservation, even go back just like them. They don't support that way, or none of their government, none of that. They never got benefits from them, or they never dealt with them. But maybe their kids do. But they tell you, I'm Navajo. I don't need them. I'm stronger than that. I know how to make my own money. My people never reached out for them. Man. But it wasn't no disrespect, but they know they're not full blooded, and because they tell me, because I might try to talk to one, they be like, that's not even a Navajo. It can be a Mexican and Navajo, or a Mexican Asian, or even a white and Navajo, but it wasn't because of my people racist, because like whatever they telling you, telling you it's not real, because like they tell me like my mom is Navajo, I know, and my grandma actually looked like a Navajo, but even when she looked like a Navajo, she looked like an Indian, and when I say Indian, she can look like a Lakota, Alaskan, or Eskimo. But even with that, like just like, even when I say Lakotas, that's why I'm bringing up Lakotas, because I know Lakotas, the Blackfoot people, they went into Canada, Alaska. That was their home too, and they used to go back and forth. All Indians there when they were chasing buffaloes. But I don't know. I know the Hopi might have did it, because I know the Hopi people didn't eat meat. That's just like how we talk about Navajos. They let Navajos live on their land, because Navajos said we're going to stop fighting and doing raiding. Same thing the Apaches was doing, because they came to the land with the Apaches. That's what in the Hopis let these people live together. I mean, let these people live on their reservation. So that's what I know about Navajo stuff. I mean Navajo stuff, and what I try to stay strong with is the bear. I mean, I know the bear hug way is real, even though that sound funny. Eskimo kisses. My grandma showed me that too when I was younger, and she used to always tell me, "Oh, Navajos." So she was trying to tell me, like, "Do you just want to go to the reservation or move on?" She said, "You don't know what you're talking about, because Navajos is from Eskimo in Alaska." And just like that, I know she knows she's talking about, because her grandmother, just like I said, she was full blooded, and she was a medicine lady. And even though they might say she was from Arizona, I know her mama and her dad, they weren't from Arizona. It don't in her paperwork, it don't say they were from Arizona, or New Mexico, or Colorado, or Utah. And just like that, it's a known fact. That's Hopi land, and maybe Anastasi land, and Zuni people land. And yeah, so she always told me, and she even told me in the 1900s, like when we were coming up, she told me that used to tell me Navajo is from like Alaska and Eskimo and all that. Like you're Alaskan. The Native Americans in California and educated places like this know the same thing, just like Alaska and Canada, and maybe Canada too. But I know they know it in California too, because yeah, we actually identify ourselves as Alaskans, Native Americans. It's a known fact. So yeah, then I found that that was true, because my grandma showed me that, just like told you about the Choctaw stuff with my grandfather. So yeah, so that's what I know about the Navajo stuff that my grandma used to always tell me too, like do a rain dance, and these things I'm telling you, Navajos don't the people that said they're Dene, they don't do this. And another thing too, my grandma, her mom, she left the reservation because she said, and I even watched other Navajos that's full blood that talk about stuff like this, they said the same thing. But she said the reason why she left the reservation is because she didn't want to eat sheep. Navajos don't eat sheep, because she said that was God's animal and Jesus Christ's animal. And you know it's true, because it's in the Bible, like with Moses when he fought the lamb inside the cave. But what I'm saying is, yeah, they know Navajos wasn't supposed to. They said Navajos not supposed to eat lamb, and so she said the Navajos was doing crazy stuff, and they were getting more crazier, so she left the reservation. And her mom stayed, and my grandma never said, "Oh, that's the Navajo way. You have to know how to butcher a sheep or kill an animal or anything like that." My grandma never showed us or practiced or made sure it was passed down to kill a sheep or eat a sheep. What she did present, and I'm not. I mean, I know she presented it, but I'm not to us, and I'm not sure. But it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was the first one to do it, but I know she used to plant watermelons, and she might was the first one to have a watermelon or plant a watermelon, but she wasn't passing this down to eat no sheep, or kill no sheep. So that's not the Navajo way. Remember the word Diné, that's not the Navajo way. I know what Diné mean. That means the people. That can be talking about any people. But yeah, but I'm going to the next video. Yeah.